What's up, guys? All right, today we're going to be taking a look at the new Smith & Wesson 5.7. I do have an Olight PL3 on it. I just threw that on here just for aesthetics, I guess. But I haven't got an optic on it yet. Here in a minute, we'll take a look at how this barrel works. If you look right here, you can kind of see real close right here. You can see it unlock. It's a pretty unique design. It's not like a Browning design where the barrel tilts. It just kind of stays straight on. I have fired one round through this. This will be my first time shooting multiple rounds through it, so we'll kind of get to see how reliable it is. I'll tell you how it feels in the hand, because I think there's going to be one thing about this pistol that I really don't care for, but I still think it's probably the best 5.7 on the market. And I forgot to bring my FN 5.7 to compare it to, so we'll have to do that video another day. But there's just one thing that I'm going to tell you about. This thing is narrow. It is crazy narrow. And I don't know why Smith & Wesson had to make it that narrow. I've not really shot it a lot yet, so I don't know if that actually has like a hot spot. But when I grip this gun, I can feel in my hand how narrow this gun is. And they didn't have to do that, because this is a 5-inch gun. People are probably not going to conceal carry this. Someone may in the world, but most people are not going to conceal carry a gun this size. So they could have put like some palm swells in here or something to make this fit your hand a little bit better, because it is very wide right here, but very narrow right here. When you get something real wide and real narrow, it can create hot spots. So I'm anxious to see if that is. But other than that, I do think, just from the one round I put through this pistol is nuts. It had zero recoil. When you're watching me shoot this pistol, watch the barrel tilt. There's none. It is nuts. And if you've not seen that video yet, I say I shot it suppressed. I was so surprised. Now, I'm in another state. I can't bring my suppressor over here. My range is in North Carolina and my house is in Tennessee, so I can't bring my suppressors with me. But this thing was stupid quiet. I could not believe how quiet a round going 16 to 1700 feet a second out of a 5-inch pistol was. It just didn't make any sense to me how that worked out of a Dead Air Mask HD 22 suppressor that is rated for 5.7. It was just so quiet. But enough talking. I want to start shooting this thing, because it was so fun to shoot this, just the one round, just how no recoil it had, or how little recoil. It basically had none. That I want to get into it. So let me put on my eyes and ears. We'll put a few rounds down range. It does hold 22 plus 1, but I want to tell you, I've not been able to get 22 rounds in the magazine with the slide closed with one in it, so the 23 rounds, and actually seat the magazine yet. Maybe I left one magazine loaded. Maybe it'll work today. We'll try it, but I've not been able to do that yet. Okay, guys, so before we get started on shooting this, there was some people that had some questions about kind of how this system worked, and I'm going to do my best to explain it the way I understand that it works. But to take this apart, you have this little notch here that you kind of have to pull back, even with this little notch right here, that little hole. Then you have to have a punch. It's going to be a little difficult to do around the camera. Let's see if I can hold it right there. See if I can push that out. See if I can line it up right there. There we go. And then this pin will just pop right out. Then the slide I thought would just come off after that, but it is not. There we go. Sorry. That slide, that's the first time I take it off. It's a little sticky. It's a little hard to get off. I have already actually done the shooting video, but this will go in before that, so it could just be pretty dirty. So then you'll pop your spring off here, and then turn this, and your barrel comes out. Now you can see how the barrel locks right here. It just kind of pivots back and forth. So that's your locking barrel. But if we pull the barrel out, which is extremely, this is just a sleeve bind. I guess this is kind of like a gas tube is the way I might explain this. But then if you look at the barrel right here, you can see your gas port right here. And the barrel does not reciprocate or doesn't unlock until the bullet passes the gas port. So you can see the bullet is actually almost completely out of the barrel before the barrel unlocks, which is one thing that helps keep this gun so flat. Is the barrel is almost completely through it. So it helps minimize recoil and it helps improve accuracy. And again, you can kind of see right here how that works. But to my understanding, when this comes out, it hits these little raised places here. It causes the barrel to unlock and then actually ejects the round. But to my, if I'm saying that wrong, I hope I got that right. But I'm pretty sure that's how this gun actually works and recoils. And again, from my understanding, this right here, it kind of works like a gas tube. I hope I got that right. But from my understanding, I believe it is. But you can see right there how that barrel locks up in there. And if we put this back together, I can kind of show you a close-up. There we go. Let's pull this up this way. Slide this pin back through. And you can see right here, watch the barrel right here. You can see it unlocked right there and the way it rotates and pops back. But that does not happen until the bullet is almost completely out of the barrel. So there again, helps reduce recoil and actually improves accuracy. Hope I explained that right. I think I did. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments and I'll do my best to answer them. Okay guys, I do have 22 rounds in this magazine. I'm actually going to do a video on how the mag loader works. I meant to do that already because it took me a while to figure that out. But once you do, it actually works pretty well on helping get that 22nd round in there because it is stupid tight. But you can see the pistol is unloaded. The slide is down, 22 in the magazine. It did seat, but it was not easy. You have to really force that magazine in there. But it was really easy to rack the slide, which makes no sense. You think the slide would drag across that round and make it a little harder to rack, but it didn't. So I don't understand why the magazine's hard to get in. That makes no sense. But let's put some rounds down range. Magazine, let me show you this. Magazine is a little bit loose, but a lot of magazines are that way. I just thought I'd point that out. Doesn't really mean anything. Okay, so let me clear this. Let me make the pistol clear. You can see it's empty. It has no recoil. I mean, the pistol basically has no recoil. I mean, it's nuts how little recoil this pistol got. It's almost like a 22. But this thin grip and my large size hands do not go together. I'm gonna take it out here and show you what I'm talking about. Let me take it out here and show you something. This is not good shooting. And it may just be I'm not used to the trigger, but I think it's the grip, because that grip is not comfortable. I was way left. Now I was shooting like right here, I was low and left, I was shooting like right here, and I was left. That grip for my large hands is not comfortable. It just is not comfortable. Not saying that it's a bad gun, because it is not. It's very light shooting. But if you have big, thick hands, as narrow as this is, it's almost like you're holding like a wide paint stick or something, like it's just pushing in on your hand, and it wants to wiggle a little bit. I don't have enough swell on the side to fill in my large hands, and the gun wants to move a little bit on me while I'm shooting it. I may get used to that. The trigger is phenomenal. I may get used to that though. I think my trigger pull, I actually gauged it. It was like 2 pounds, 13 ounces. It was something stupid like that. I mean, it It was like right at 3 pounds. It was real close to 3 pounds. And let's go ahead and take a look at that. So you have some take up. It is very, very smooth. You hit a wall, it breaks, reset. This trigger in feel is comparable to the Rival. I still think the Rival has a better trigger, but this is getting really close to Rival territory with this trigger. I want to throw up a shoot and see and just see how really bad I am doing with this. I really attribute it to the narrow grip, just because like when I buy aftermarket grips like Loke grips and stuff for my CZs, I always get the ones with the palm swells because my hands are so big it fills up the gap in there and allows me to get a better grip on the gun and allow the gun to not want to wiggle in my hand, whereas I can't do that with this one. It does not come with back straps or anything like that that you can change out, and I don't know why Smith & Wesson didn't do that either. They could have easily have done that as well, I would think. You can see the mainspring down in there, or the hammer spring down in there, I mean. But maybe that's what it was. Maybe the hammer spring is not, allowing it to have back straps, but I don't know. They could have made this wider, in my opinion, though. Not discourage you from buying the gun, because it is a fun little gun to shoot. I was so surprised at how quiet and flat shooting it was, but that grip is a little disappointing. Let me put up a shoot and see. We're going to put some more rounds through this thing. I brought several rounds of 5.7, and we're just going to see if we can get used to it. All right, guys, I put some like 3-inch shooting C's up there, and I put, 12, 14 rounds in here. We're going to shoot kind of slow and see if we can hit those shooting C's and just kind of get used to this grip. Your grip has a lot to do with your accuracy. If you don't have a good grip on the gun, your accuracy will suffer, and I really think that's what it is. When I first picked this gun up, I was like, that grip is really narrow, and you hear a lot of YouTubers talking about that, and I'm noticing it in my accuracy. Again, I love this gun. It may be the best 5.7 on the market as far as recoil and just the way it works, because it is gas operated, but I may wind up having to put some kind of like rubber sleeve over it, like those grips that are just rubber to go over it. If I put some kind of over molded sleeve on it, I can probably shoot it a little better, which is an option. All right, I want you to see this. I pushed that magazine up in there and it didn't seat. That magazine is so tight. I mean, I've only got 12 rounds in it, and it is tight, so know that. But you can do this. If you open the slide, it goes right in, and then you can drop it. But if you're trying to load it on a closed slide, it is tight, and that's what happened right there. Does lock open. All right. So that's about 12 rounds, and I will say I'm consistent. So let's go down here and look at this. I slowed down a little bit, tried to get the best grip I could get, and stuck basically all of them right here, which is, I don't know, maybe inch and a half below where I was shooting at. I did aim a little higher and got some up higher, but everything was mostly right here. That's all 12 rounds, and you can see there's none down here. They was all right there. So if I slow down, I'm not perfectly accurate. Let's put it that way. If you put a dot on it, you can adjust that out, but you shouldn't have to do that. Iron sight should be good enough. And I'm about an inch low and an inch left, give or take. I really think that putting one of them sleeves on here will actually help this gun out. And I will probably do another video once I get one of those and stick them on here. Also, I stuck a O-ring on the front. I ordered some O-rings from Blacklist, I think's what the company's called. And I stuck an O-ring on it because I didn't want the thread protector working its way off of the pistol. But I think that's where we're going to end the review. I wanted to put more rounds through this, but I really think the trigger is amazing. It has no recoil. I think the way the barrel system works is pretty awesome. I mean, the way it stays flat is pretty cool in my opinion. The magazine is hard to get in. You've seen that when it didn't fire over there. And like I said, the grip is a lot narrow. It's not a little narrow, it's a lot narrow. Now I think that has a double-edged sword. If you have big hands, you're not going to get enough here to fill up your hand, which I contribute to that. If you have small hands, you may not have enough hand to wrap all the way around it because that 5.7 round is so long. So it's a double-edged sword. All 5.7s are going to be wide right here, but most of them have enough right here to fill that gap. And to me, that was a fail from Smith & Wesson. I'm not giving this gun a bad review. That is the really biggest negative, because really and truly, you can insert a magazine with the slide open and then drop the slide, which is fine. But without something right here, you just can't fill in that gap, and it's noticeable. So if you go to pick one of these up at the store, make sure you pick this thing up, grip it, and present it like you was going to shoot it. The crazy thing is, when I present this, my sights are in line. It points really well. It's just it doesn't fill up my hand, so when the recoil happens, it has some movement in it. But there again, I'm going to end the video here, and I'm going to come back to this. When I get one of those grips, whoever makes those, I'm not even sure who, I don't know if Pierce makes them, I'm not sure who makes those. But whenever I get one of those rubber over-molded grips to put on this, we'll come back and try this again and see if it's just me or if the grip actually helps. Hope this helps somebody out there, because I know there's a lot of anticipation for this gun, and I had high hopes for this gun. As soon as I found one, I went and bought it to do you guys a video, and I was like, man, this 5.7 is so amazing. And it is an amazing pistol. I mean, I've only shot, I don't know, 50 rounds through it so far ish, 40, and but I don't feel like if I keep shooting more rounds through it, I'm not going to get any better with it. So I want to try to fix my problem before I spend $200 on 5.7, because that ammo is expensive to shoot this gun. So I want to be able to give this thing a good review, and I think with one of those, I probably could. I appreciate y'all watching this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments section below. I paid for this for my money, and the people that got these for free may not tell you what I'm telling you. So, you know, that is one good thing about, you know, an independent YouTuber. When you buy them yourself, you can tell people what you want. Love you guys. We'll see you next time.